right, ladies, gentlemen, and Gordon, welcome to episode three, I think, of the SimEra podcast. Joined always by my main man Cobbs over here, and then today we have a special guest here, your Supreme Chancellor, your Emperor, your Overlord, Dan He 22 is joining us.
Hey, yeah, thanks for having me on, guys. Long-time listener, first-time caller. Recognized after the first few episodes, you guys needed a little bit of more wisdom in your Madden play, especially watching your last game there, Spook. Figured you guys needed me on here to help out a little bit. So I'm glad I can help. Glad I can bring some wisdom here to this podcast.
Yeah.
Very funny.
You just want to be on here so we stop dogging you every podcast.
Well, yeah, I'll give you guys credit, okay? I got to give credit where credit's due. That's one thing I always try to pride myself on. I might talk some smack, might give you guys some hard time. But you guys were right on point when you were looking at predicting teams. You guys had two or three of the top teams I was looking at, and I think it was Cobbs that was more convinced that I was taking the Panthers, and that was the team I had all along. I really wanted to, young team, had some speed, but it was either nah or truth. I was trying to figure out which division I wanted to go after. And just at the end of the day, I just think the speed in the secondary of the Panthers was what kind of won me over. But giving credit where credit due, you guys did a good job. Congratulations on that. At least you guys can do something right.
Yeah, I don't know how we ever solved that mystery. All right, so anyways, we got a couple topics to get to today. The league is officially underway, which is awesome. It's one of the most exciting times of the Madden cycle, if not the most exciting, maybe before the first playoffs. But we had a bunch of games opening night. It was firing off on chat. It's been a lot of fun. So we kind of wanted to talk about a few of the things we've seen here. Topic number one is going to be probably the topic that gets the user in discussion, the most excited about himself. He's probably going to be really happy that we're talking about him. First off, Gordon is 2-0 and has two pretty good wins under his belt. Big game this week against QB, but what are your thoughts on the Dongmeister so far? We'll go with you first, Dan.
Yeah, so Gordon gets a lot of well-deserved harassment, and it's been because of years of just making bad trades or talking like he knows cover two when he doesn't know cover two and all this kind of stuff. But from the get-go, I mean, he's been on top of the trade game. He dominated the early offseason trades, got just great picks, great values for both Love and for Adams. And now he's going out there and he's putting some of that early success into actually winning games, and he's 2-0 and doing well. So we'll see if that continues. Sometimes he gets down and kind of the world's falling apart and everything's falling apart, but hopefully he keeps his head on level and sticks to his game plan. And the league is 100 times better when Gordon's in the playoffs. So I'm pushing for a Gordon run here.
I love that. Yeah, Cobbs, what are your thoughts on his start? I know you two are getting into it on chat the other night for a brief second.
Oh yeah. So I said this on the last podcast. I'm not changing. I want Gordon to make a run. I want Legion of Boom 2.0. Gordon, if you're listening, I know we've had our back and forth. There's been a lot of chaos. Dongers leave the chat, dongers come back, you attack my male pattern baldness. Forget all that. It's in the past. I'm still rooting for you. I just want you to know that. Couple good wins so far. And I'd also like to take a little credit because I think the chat doubting Gordon from a front office perspective, we were just waiting for him to bungle those trades. I think it motivated him to really do his due diligence. He kicked the crowdsourcing into overdrive, and he made good moves. He got Judy. He kept Rodgers, which I actually think was the right move for him because you don't really have to develop Rodgers. He's kind of plug and play. I think that Gordon could keep it going for a bit. I don't know how deep a run I see him making, but I think wild card, that's in reach.
I would love to do a league-wide poll and see how many people Gordon actually asked to, for advice. I know he was in my DMs. I'm pretty sure
I
it
was
was
gonna say,
KP's.
well, we're
Yeah.
3 for 3 in this chat. I would bet.
Yeah. I wonder if it's over under half the league, which would be 16 people. So
I think I would happily take the over. I know KP has definitely helped him because KP kept saying stuff in chat like under the advice of my counsel and things like that. But yeah, I mean the Packers are a tough team to like come in and figure out what to do front office wise. I think he absolutely won the Devontae Adams trade. Judy's as good as any young wide receiver in the game, and he added some draft picks on top of it, not having to pay that giant contract for Adams. I think he moved the right quarterback, like Cobb said, like especially for Gordon. Rodgers already has abilities, and he doesn't retire 4 years in. His ratings drop a little bit, but he's still an ability QB that is capable of winning games and making things a little bit easier on the user. Is as easy as passing is this year. It definitely helps to have abilities. So I think he absolutely knocked it out of the park, GM wise. His gameplay has been good. It's going to his head already, though. Like it's two games in, and Gordon's already talking like he's like
Sean McVay.
Seed. Yeah, right. Yeah, like it's. I'm not rooting for the downfall because I do want to see him do well, but I'm interested to see how he handles the first couple losses and what he does when people start to scheme up against the quick passing one read. His offense is so weak. He's somehow like a decent passer. It's really weird. But yeah. Anyways, I've been excited to watch him. I'm rooting for him. I think he could easily win that division. I don't know if anybody can beat Volk after whatever voodoo I saw yesterday in my game with him. It was like my first welcome to Madden 21 or 22 craziness. So that was fun. But anyways, moving on to the next topic, we're gonna have another owner here that we want to talk about. As far as early, not necessarily surprises, but owners that are kind of doing the thing at the moment. We're gonna talk about our very own super spreader Cowboy. He's off to a 2-1 start. His on the opposite side of the spectrum from Gordon with the GM moves. We have Cowboys front office moves. So, Cobbs, you experienced him firsthand yesterday. I don't know if you have anything to say or what your opinions on his. Is he going to be hard to beat with this offense the way passing is in this game?
Yeah. So that was a very annoying loss. Jordan Love hit every single throw on the run, under pressure, whatever, 90 yards downfield, didn't matter. I'm not totally sure. Cowboys seem to be making better reads, but I'm not sure how much of this is a product of people not figuring out defense yet. Like, is Cowboy a slightly inflated version of Gordon, where he's just, has like this 90% completion percentage early, and people learn to play defense? But yeah, I mean, he's like the one guy. The guy you probably least want to lose to because you're going to, he's going to like spam tongue emojis in the chat or whatever other nonsense.
Yeah.
But like I saw some comments from him. He's talking about, trying to not bomb all the time. Like he seems to at least be thinking it through a little more. The one other observation is his usering style, which is like kind of crazy for anyone who doesn't know. He's just pulling the free safety all over the place, sprinting in one direction, popping back. I don't think that's going to work this year. And I got him deep a couple times because he did that. I think that he's going to have to figure something out on defense and a different approach and maybe actually some scheme to that side.
Yeah, he's kind of like the QB, like real QB school of safety usering, where he like will pull it down on a whim, and then it's like, okay, over the top's wide open. He definitely is susceptible to that kind of stuff. I noticed that as well.
Yeah.
Dan, what are your thoughts? I think you have Cowboy blocked like 90%. So I don't even know if you see the things he says or anything about him.
Oh, just a shout out to Discord. Good job on their features of blocking people. And again, lead wide announcement. If someone's annoying you, just block them. It's a beautiful thing. but no, early season Madden, first season, you're going to have some of these kind of weird scores. You're going to have these moments where you'll kind of look at like, what just happened there? And we really don't know yet. Obviously, three games in, but the way the game is playing, and there's some real doubt out there whether or not Madden will fix those zones or change them drastically. I mean, we all complained last year about how bad the running was, that every time the running back got tackled, they fell forward 5 more yards. They never changed it.
Right.
And so that might be just an aspect. They want passing back. And so we're going to not let the blue zones play very well. And so we'll see how that happens. And then that plays right into his style, plays right into the team he's got. He's got weapons across the board. So it'll be fun. It'll be interesting. He's got some heavy hitters coming up. He did lose to Truth. Truth gave him kind of the business there. So let's see what happens. The Cobbs one is definitely an eye-opening. Let's okay, something might be there, but I'm willing to give him the benefit of the doubt, but I'm not sold yet.
Yeah, Truth's a tough win always. He's arguably the best player in the league, and Cowboy doesn't really ever hang with him, so their play styles are so different, so I don't really think you can take anything from that game. But beating Cobbs was definitely, like, I watched it, and there were a couple throws where it's like, all right, what? Like, how did you get away with that or whatever? But for the most part, like, he took checkdowns when the deep ball wasn't there. He ran the ball well. He made the right reads most of the time. It wasn't just like blind chucking. So I don't know, maybe he's evolving. Something you guys didn't touch on, which I just have to say, I think that Cowboys so far has been maybe the worst GM I've ever seen in a Madden league, like ever, for a connected franchise. But it looks like he finally did get his guy the way Jordan Love was playing against Cobbs. So, maybe he can do something in the offseason to move Eason. I know some people are going to have older QBs that retire after season one. And, any quarterback with 92, 93 throw power is a pretty decent commodity to have. So maybe he can, rectify the disaster of a trade that somehow Eater got away with, which, I know he's loving it too, because whenever he can outsmart the system, it's a big thing. So, all right, cool. So those are the two owners we wanted to talk about. And then, kind of not necessarily another owner discussion, but an entire division discussion. The NFC West is pretty almost the same way that it was last year, where there are 4 good owners in it, where I have no idea how to predict this division right now. Sherv quit, which he lasted 2 games. he spent $70 to get into Discord to troll Gordon and Sensei. I think it was probably worth it from his perspective, maybe. So bring in Dallas, and it just adds to the potential toxicity of the NFC West. A lot of chatter in that division, generally between the owners in there that I know. I think it's going to be really fun to watch. What are your guys' thoughts on this division moving forward?
Yeah, I'll jump on this one. It's got the probably the 4 best teams. Madden wise, Seahawks are a little down on that, but you still got Russell Wilson, and you got some defensive players there. But the grouping of owners is just fascinating. And now that you throw Dallas in there without Sherv, just kind of ramps that up even more. I mean, we all kind of know what Dallas brings. It's a wild, obnoxious, annoying, but yet fun to just smack around kind of personality. And but if he beats you, man, watch out. So that will go over really well with Sensei and BRS, given their personalities. And then, even Sensei losing, and losing pretty convincingly, and just didn't even look good in the first game. And I know he's started this whole well, not interested. I'm not going to play, and that always drives me nuts, because it's just almost like, oh well, take away the win, take away this, or I didn't really lose because I didn't really put the time in. Well, you know what? That just there's no excuse. That's just a lame excuse. You either win or you lose. You either put the time in or you don't, or if you just be quiet about it. Just lose, say good game, and move on.
It's
So
almost impossible for him to do.
yeah, and BRS won't let that stand. Dallas won't let that stand. QP's been quiet but he won't be if he keeps winning. So, it's one of those kind of divisions. I think it's going to be a must watch division all season long, all cycle long.
Yeah, I keep forgetting that QB owns the Niners, but now that I'm looking at how things have shaken out, like QB could quietly win that division. Like he's a pretty good player. He's been on a playoff team. Um, BRS has been putting in a lot of time. I probably am responsible for 90% of that with one random comment on a podcast. But no, I've been impressed. I mean, he kind of shook the rust off quickly. He's getting used to the game, and I think the way that Madden's going, that is a lot of the you can't really just pick up this game one time, just play your league game, and expect to be like playoff or championship level. Sherv clearly came in under that expectation, but like even Eater, obviously, like he had a game plan put together, and I just think that that's kind of the difference. So now Dallas coming in, we haven't really seen him in a league game, I don't think yet. Dallas, he went to a championship game at some point last year. Like he's capable of making a run. I really have no predictions for that division though. Like it might take half the season one to really get a clear sense of who's coming out of it.
Yeah, Dallas will be probably like Cowboy in that he'll take advantage of the zone breakdowns. He'll throw deep. He'll take advantage of whatever's there, but he has a little bit of ability then to adjust. So that'll be the part we'll see if he can adjust. Because again, BRS he's gonna figure you out. He's gonna see your tendencies, and then Sensei, for all the crap we give him, and I think rightfully deserves. He's a good player, and he can use her. He knows how to take advantage of the good quarterback he has in a good way, not in a super cheesy way, but in a good way. So I expect BRS and both Sensei to be right there at the top, but I don't think QB and Dallas will back away either. So I think it's going to be a 4-man race the whole way through. So I'm excited for it.
Yeah, I think this is probably the most competitive top to bottom division in the league. I mean, the AFC North, my division's pretty intense too. But the way I look at it, especially with the way that this Madden plays and what my theory and opinion has been on it since day one playing it, I think this game and the way to win in this game really comes down to situational football and knowing the game and knowing the different mechanics within the game. And I think out of the four of them, I don't think Dallas knows anything about Madden, literally at all. I think he's a good stick player, and I think that's where he gets by. I think Sensei is slightly above that in that he's probably the best stick player I've seen. But I don't think he really learns the game much either, because it's like a lot of times in chat, we'll be talking about a well-known thing, and Sensei will be like, "Oh, you guys are doing that?" And it's like, "Yes, we've been doing that since season one." And with QB, he's a good stick player as well, but like I don't know how much he pays attention to the intricacies of Madden. And so basically what it comes down to is I think that, with this game kind of nerfing stick play, I think that's kind of why you're seeing Sensei struggle and why he's saying the things he is. Like, oh, I don't care. I don't even like this Madden. Because I think he's realizing pretty quickly it's not geared towards his play style. I think if I had to guess right now who's going to win this division, I would say BRS. But I could see any person in the division winning. And this podcast will probably fire Sensei up, and he'll start calling himself Big Poppy and Cam and whatever in chat. So
that's what we need.
That's exactly what we need. I hope it happens. So, as you guys said, this is easily the most interesting division. It's going to be toxic at times after tough losses, and when chat starts firing at these guys, and it's just it'll be fun to watch and annoying probably, but maybe a good mixture of both. Okay, so one last topic we have is we were just going to do our Power 5, I guess, outlook, what we've seen so far. just who we think are the top 5 guys in the league at the moment. Dan,
I'll get it. I'll get it started. I'll look at it. So, you've got 8 teams that are 2-0, but I don't think you have to be 2-0 to be on the top 5 because some of it matters in who you play. I'm 2-0, and I don't think my schedule's been very tough so far. So, doesn't mean that just because you're 2-0 means you're in the top 5. And we got a big game that's happening, I think, sometime tonight. I think Na and Truth are playing. And that's really a must-watch TV. I'm trying to actually find out what time that game is, so maybe we can do some commentating.
Oh yeah, and actually, just so everybody knows, half the reason Na isn't on this podcast is because he said he had to go train to play Truth.
Yeah. Let me check real quick. We let's get the exact words so he knows that. I need to get into the zone for the Truth game. That's what he said. He needs to get into the zone. So we'll see whether or not he gets in the zone. Was that my kid screaming there? Or was that?
It was not mine.
I did not have kids.
You do have kids over there. All right, I gotta figure out what my kid was doing. Anyhow, so I'm gonna put. Let's see. I just had this. Who I was gonna go to? I was gonna go 5 through to 4. I'm gonna go ahead and put Gordon at number 5. I think the Packers might be a Seahawk-like team he did a few years ago, and he can ride them. So I got him at number 5. I'm going to put, even though you lost Spook, I'm going to put you at number 4. I'm going to chalk that up as a random Madden game. I'm going to have you there at number 4. I'm going to put myself at number 3, even though I just said I had a weak schedule. I still feel when it comes to push comes to shove, I'll be right there. I'm going to go ahead and then put who was my number 2? Oh, yeah, that's right. I'm going to go ahead and put where are they? Who am I looking at? Oh. Maybe I messed that up. Maybe I went ahead. Anyways, I'm gonna go ahead and put. Let's put. Man, I really got this screwed up.
Adjust your bifocals.
I counted 2 wrong. I don't even know who the number. I should back this up and put. Anyways, let me just go. Let me just go to number 1 since I botched it really bad. Truth is number 1. Until he gets beaten, until someone shows me something different, I'm putting Truth at number 1. And really, I guess I should probably then say I'll put myself at number 2, and then I'll figure out number 5 later on. Gordon, congratulations, you just moved up already. You didn't even get to play a game. You went from 5 to 4 in my schedule or in my Power 5. But I got Gordon, I've got Spook, I got myself. I guess I'll throw Na in there. I'll give Na the benefit of the doubt. First week game, he lost, even though he lost pretty bad. I'll put him at number 5, and so therefore that's my 5. Somehow I got to 5, but Truth is number 1. That's all that really matters, right?
Yeah, that's all there. I agree. Cobbs, you feel slighted. He put Gordon in the top 5 and kept you out.
That's okay. I would have done the same.
Well, it's your turn, so you can do the same.
All right. Good point. So I think actually, Spook, I'm gonna slot you in at number 5. I probably would have put you higher than that. I still think you can easily climb right back up there. It was a pretty fluky loss, but I was expecting you to maybe come out and have a few of those biz type of games. But you'll be back, obviously.
Yeah, it's tough when you don't play Madden early on for a couple days and then play really well. So
yeah. So 4, I'm gonna stick Gordon there just to keep the momentum going and to slight Cowboy. So we've got Gordon at number 4 until proven otherwise. I'm not sure that Gordon loses a game. Number 3, I'm putting Na in there. Na had sneaky upset to Guzman, who actually I think is kind of like a sleeper contender this year. But Na in early season Madden, I mean, he's already played like 4,000 draft champs games. So I think that he just puts in the work. Like, he's not going to be out of the top 5 in season 1. Number 2, I've got Dan. For right now, I think Dan just got, a well-rounded game. I haven't really seen him play much of this Madden, but it's kind of like just going based on what I know there. And then number 1, I'm still sticking Truth at number 1 until proven otherwise. I've seen Truth obviously put together some blowouts, some big games, and he's got an even better Giants team that still has Saquon. So.
Yeah, yeah. The Giants team that he has is better than the Giants team he had last year. Minus not having a pass rusher like Von Miller, but I think he's doing everything he can to make that happen at the moment. Um, for my Power Five, I'm going to leave myself off it because I got smoked by Volk yesterday, and I just don't feel like I played very well. So I think I can probably creep back up into there, but I'm going to keep myself off for now. Um, for number five, I'm going to put Cobbs at number five. I think the loss to Cowboy was kind of fluky. Jordan Love's not going to play that all the time. It's not like you even played bad. You just lost in a shootout to the guy that has no fear to throw the ball downfield, and you know what I mean. Like you're still, but you're coming off of the last Madden. You were the most sound passer, and you look pretty similar this year. So I think you're going to bounce back. Number four, I'm going to put BRS. I know he had that bad week one loss to Eater. I think the game is starting to click for him. I think he's starting to learn what he can and can't do pass wise. I think he's starting to learn how big of a freak of nature that DK Metcalf is. Um, and with a passer like BRS learning that he basically has an unstoppable force in that, and the defense that he's been calling has been playing better too. I think that he's going to show out. I think people will see why I've been so high on him and talked him up this entire offseason since he decided he was joining. Number three, I'll put Dan. Um, Dan's always in the conversation for a contender any given Madden. The only reason I don't have him higher is because his schedule's been kind of easy and I haven't really seen anything yet. You know, if he had had a big winner by now, you would probably be a little bit higher, which is kind of funny because my number two is Nah, who also really hasn't had a big game, but he bounced back against Solomon and looked like he had some cheddar on defense. Um, his offense doesn't really look much different than it did last year, so hopefully he can figure out a way to develop that a little bit more. Because otherwise, we'll see tonight because Truth historically has his number defensively, and that leads to number one. Truth is number one until somebody knocks him off. Um, Truth is a pretty balanced Madden player. I've said it before. He kind of pushes the limits on like what things he'll run and concepts, and just do them over and over until you're blue in the face. But that's well within the rules, and that's his style of play. And until somebody beats him or wins the title this Madden, it's hard to argue that he's not the best player in the league at the moment. And you guys agreed with that as well. So I think most people in the league would agree that Truth is the top dog until proven otherwise. So,
Who do you think, real quick, who do you think's been most slighted in our top five? I know we didn't mention. I mean, Faz has been on vacation, so it's hard to gauge him. Eater's 2-0. QB. Sorry, I keep saying QP. QB is 2-0. You think, and looks like Time's 2-0. You think any of those guys, Solar's 2-0. Any of those guys deserve the top five? You think we slighted them?
I think borderline would be QB for me. I haven't really watched Time play, so I don't know if his 2-0 is like he's blowing people out or what. I watched two of QB's games. Him with the Niners would put him right on the edge of the top five for me. Solar had a really good win against Clinky. I don't know what you guys call him. I say Clinky, but Solar had a really good win against him. I didn't see his week 2 game, but yeah, those dudes are all like probably in the top 10, right in that range. I would say probably the biggest slight not being in there is QB, to me at least. But
Yeah, I'd agree with that. QB's probably, especially, early on with that team. I could see him, being a top team division winner.
I noticed. I looked at the schedule real quick, and when you mentioned Time just beat Revoke, who beat you. Time beat him 35-3. So
that was a force win. I don't remember what the actual score was.
Okay.
They disconnected. He was winning he was up like 2 or 3 scores with like 4 minutes left. So
all right.
Because I had to check it for something. I forget what it was. But yeah, no. Time's a good player, man. He plays that style that drives me insane. It's like slow move the chains, 6.5 minute drive, and then I start pressing. And so with the Bengals, he could definitely make some noise, I think.
Yeah.
KP's 1-1. I'm 2-1. X Dog is trading everything on his roster for O-line. So I don't know what's going on there, but
He's
I
a
think
role-playing eater.
well, no, I think he's trying to act, be the real GM for the Steelers, and try to make up for the fact that we have no O-line. So he's trying to get an O-line, and even though he's trading away the best players to get it, I don't think it'll work too well in Madden. So
yeah, we'll see. All right, cool. So, anyways, that wraps up the top 5. That's going to wrap up the podcast. Hope you guys enjoyed listening. We'll probably do one probably next week, I would say. We're going to try to do these once a week. Try to do like a game of the week thing most weeks. We'll probably discuss the Truth game on the next podcast. But yeah, thanks for joining me, guys. This was a lot of fun.
Yeah, let me just tell you, confirmed the game's at 6:00. So if you guys are listening to this, check us out. Someone will be hopefully commentating that game at 6:00.
All right, awesome.
All right.
Thanks, guys.
All right. See you.